As 2025 draws to a close, there have been a lot of artists we didn't know at the beginning of the year who exploded and took over the world as the year went on. In this video, we look at 8 of the biggest new artists of 2025. Olivia Dean. Olivia Dean was already a rising star in the UK heading into 2025, but she absolutely exploded globally in the latter part of the year. When she dropped Man I Need in August 2025, few could have predicted just how big it would become. The song blends bossa nova grooves and soulful R&B to deliver an earworm that refuses to get out of your head.
Come be the man I need. Tell me you got something to give.
Her vocals are both tender and commanding, and the song took her to another level, as she had been building buzz after her 2023 debut Messy, but this one became an undeniable anthem. Chart-wise, Man I Need rose to #1 on the UK singles chart, and it also became a hit worldwide, peaking at #3 on the Billboard Global 200. But perhaps most surprising was its impact in the US. The song slowly climbed into the top 10, peaking at #4 on the Billboard Hot 100, marking Olivia's first ever top 10 in the US. The song has now accumulated more than 400 million Spotify streams in a matter of months. She followed it up with hit after hit, really dominating the streaming charts, with So Easy to Fall in Love and Nice to Each Other, singles from her sophomore album The Art of Loving. Released on September 26, the album debuted at #1 on the UK Albums Chart and cracked the Billboard 200's top 5, earning gold certification in the UK by October. By the end of the year, she was a Grammy nominee for Best New Artist, performed at numerous award shows, and announced her biggest tour yet. Olivia Dean is an undeniable star, as she got everything to become a megastar. Sombr. Sombr absolutely exploded in 2025. At just 20 years old, he catapulted from bedroom producer to global sensation with his debut album I Barely Know Her, which was released in March 2025. He first got some attention when his single Bad to Friends, which was released right at the end of 2024, went on to peak at #10 on the Billboard Hot 100. It has now accumulated more than 1.2 billion Spotify streams. Then he followed it up with Undressed, which continued the momentum, going on to peak at #16 on the Billboard Hot 100, and sitting on 600 million Spotify streams, thanks to relentless TikTok virality. Sombr's sound is more of an indie pop melancholy, in the vibe of early Lorde in the 1975. I Barely Know Her debuted at #14 on the Billboard 200, selling 31,000 album equivalent units in its first week, which was decent for a new artist. Then came 12 to 12, which was also a decent hit, peaking at #41 on the Hot 100. Sombr's breakthrough felt very quick. Pre-2025, he was a SoundCloud regular, with EPs like Sleepy Time, but TikTok changed everything. By fall, he was one of the biggest artists in the world, getting around 53 million monthly listeners on Spotify. He has now also been nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys, legitimizing his success. Even though he got some hate online because of his cringe antics on tour, it didn't slow down his momentum. He is set up to have a huge career. Alex Warren. One of the biggest breakthroughs of 2025 was Alex Warren, the 25-year-old former TikToker, whose single Ordinary transformed him from influencer to chart-topping superstar. Released on February 7 as the lead from his debut album You Be Alright Kid, the song peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 10 non-consecutive weeks. It also claimed the Global 200 throne for 10 weeks and a record-shattering 13-week run at the top on the UK singles chart, which became the longest uninterrupted run by an American male artist ever. What made Ordinary unstoppable is its relatability. It was a positive, hopeful song in these dark times. His social media savvy fueled a viral campaign that helped the song get to 1.3 billion Spotify streams by the end of the year. A pivotal boost came from his emotional performance on season 8 of Netflix's Love is Blind, spiking streams by 300%. On July 28, WWE Raw featured the song in a tribute to Hulk Hogan, who passed away days earlier, increasing its popularity. The music video, which starred his wife, added another dimension to the song. Ordinary was named Song of the Summer by Billboard and was one of the biggest songs of the year. He then followed it up with Bloodline with Jelly Roll, which was another decent hit, peaking at #32 on the Hot 100. The album You'll Be Alright Kid went on to be certified platinum, selling 1.2 million units in the US to this day. Alex Warren has had the biggest breakthrough of 2025, even being nominated for a Best New Artist Grammy. Katseye. In an era of fragmented attention spans, Katseye exploded globally. Assembled with 6 artists from all over the world, the girl group blended K-pop with Western pop, formed on a reality show that debuted Dream Academy, and chronicled in Netflix's Pop Star Academy Katseye. The group debuted modestly in 2024 with the EP SIS, Soft is Strong, and the viral hit Touch. But 2025 was the year they exploded. Their sophomore EP Beautiful Chaos dropped in June 27 and debuted on number 4 on the Billboard 200. It spawned Gnarly, their first Hot 100 hit, followed by the Latin-infused Gabriella, which became their biggest hit, peaking on number 31 on the Hot 100. It has now accumulated 460 million Spotify streams. They were also culturally relevant, really connected to their fanbase. Their Gap denim commercial, with that iconic choreography, absolutely went viral, racking up millions of views on YouTube. Their Beautiful Chaos tour kicked off in November across the US and will surely establish them in the music industry. They have connected K-pop and the US audience, blowing up in 2025 and setting up to become global superstars, even being nominated for a Best New Artist Grammy. Lola Young. Lola Young emerged as 2025's pop-punk provocateur, channeling Amy Winehouse for Gen Z. The 24-year-old South Londoner first started turning heads in 2016, but it was her 2024 single Messy from her sophomore album This Wasn't Meant For You Anyway that exploded in early 2025, topping the UK singles chart for 4 weeks and cracking the Billboard Hot 100 at number 14. By December, it has racked up more than 900 million Spotify streams, becoming a huge hit. It first became popular on TikTok, and it was the reason she went mainstream. She then released her 3rd studio album, I'm Only Fucking Myself, in September 2025, and it went on to debut on number 3 on the UK albums chart and delivered further hits like One Thing, which peaked at number 18 on the Hot 100, and Dealer, which peaked at number 27, expanding her popularity. Lola's year wasn't without turbulence. She powered through a bad sickness at Coachella, and she broke down in tears at her Summertime Bowl performance. In October, she collapsed mid-concert in New York and was forced to take a hiatus to take care of her health. Nominated for her 2026 Grammy Best New Artist, alongside many of the artists in this video, Lola became a superstar in 2025, and we'll have to see where she goes from here. Leon Thomas. Leon Thomas has long been a name known in the industry, a child actor from Nickelodeon's Victorious, and behind the scenes penning hits for bigger artists. But 2025 was the year he shed those shadows and became a breakout star. At 33, he transformed from collaborator to charting artist. His sophomore album Mutt, initially released in late 2024, exploded in 2025 because of the deluxe edition, and the title track Mutt becoming a sleeper hit and now sitting on over 330 million Spotify streams, becoming one of the biggest hits of the year. Leon didn't stop there. He followed it up with his EP Folks in October 2025, showing the full extent of his talent. He is an amazing performer as well, playing instruments and delivering great vocals on stage. He also has a unique sound, which made him a favorite among critics, as he expected his breakthrough award at Billboard's 2025 R&B Hip Hop Power Players event. He said God is good all the time, crediting his faith and relentless creativity. He has had a breakout year in 2024, becoming one of the most nominated artists for the upcoming Grammys, scoring 6 nods including one for the biggest award of the night, Album of the Year. Ravyn Lenae. Ravyn Lenae slowly gained momentum this year to become one of the biggest rising artists of 2025. Her breakthrough single Love Me Not was originally released in May 2024, but its ascent was a slow burn, finally getting its mainstream moment this year. The song's retro-inspired production made it feel both timeless and current.
I know it's hard to say, but I wish you were right here.
On the charts, it proved its staying power, as it debuted at number 81 on the Hot 100 after the surge of virality on TikTok, where its mashup with Solange's Losing You gained some traction. It climbed slowly, eventually breaking into the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, eventually peaking at number 5. Beyond the US, it hit number 7 on the Billboard Global 200. The surprising nature of its success comes from how unconventional this breakout was. There was no big rollout. Instead, Love Me Not grew organically, first on social media, then on streaming platforms, and finally on radio. For Ravyn, who has been grinding in the underground for years, the song was a major turning point, a moment where she found her audience. Since her 2018 debut Crush, she has been a critic's darling, praised for her neo-soul vibes. But 2025 was the year she arrived. Love Me Not has now passed 700 million Spotify streams, which makes it a bona fide hit. Ravyn even got to open for Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet tour, exposing her to a new audience. Even though she didn't have another hit in the year, her next album is set up to become her biggest. Beéle. Hailing from Barranquilla, Colombia, Beéle emerged as one of 2025's biggest Latin breakouts, scoring hit after hit. Discovered at 16 because of his debut single Loco, a pandemic-era hit, his sound draws from Afrobeats influences, blending it with Latin rhythms. The turning point was La Plena, a collaboration with W Sound and producer Ovi on the drums. The song peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Global 200, now accumulating more than 800 million streams on Spotify, becoming one of the most played songs of 2025. Fueled by TikTok challenges and remixes, it became the biggest reggaeton track of the year. Beéle's debut album Borondo then came in July, featuring 26 tracks, and it debuted in the top 10 on Billboard's Top Latin Albums chart. The album spawned other hits like No Tiene Sentido, which has now passed more than 300 million Spotify streams. Beéle became a breakout star this year, cementing himself as the new hitmaker in Latin music, setting up for global domination in 2026. Which of the biggest new artists of 2025 did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.